Right, back live with you tonight here on In Focus, Newzroom Afrika, Channel 405. Thanks for staying on. South Africa is pushing to return to its seat at the UN's Aviation Governing Council. A re-election will elevate South Africa to a good vantage point in world aviation matters, economy, regulation and direction. Joining us now to share her thoughts on the significance of being re-elected to the Aviation Governing Council of the International Civil Aviation Organization is the Deputy Minister of Transport, Sindi Chikunga. Deputy Minister, good evening and thank you very much for your time and for joining us tonight here on In Focus. Why is it so important that we are re-elected into the International Civil Aviation Council?
No, thank you. Good evening to your viewers. This, of course, will be a milestone achievement for South Africa to get elected again to the Council of ICAO. Remember, ICAO has 193 member states. Of the 193, 36 serve in the Council of ICAO. I always make it easy to say council is like a working structure or institution of ICAO, where decisions of the assembly get implemented and analyzed for implementation by different member states. Now, for South Africa to continue to serve in that, it actually first get elected. It actually talks to our world-class aviation standards that we achieve every day and maintain every day as South Africa. And this can actually be proven easily by the manner in which we are performing each time we get audited by ICAO, but sometimes even by entities and organizations such as your FFA of US. And we have performed exceptionally well. So getting involved and being part of the council, it actually means that South Africa will be able to come to influence the decisions of council and therefore the decisions of the assembly and ICAO as such. But also it will be able to raise that voice of the developing and even underdeveloped member states of ICAO. Because if we're not there, it actually means that our voice will not be heard by ICAO. If there's one thing that ICAO does, which I think is very good, is to set recommended standards and practices for all its member states so that you know what to expect when you are flying in between states and countries of the world, that you will be searched, that you will not carry this and so on and so forth into your hand luggage. That is a standard that harmonizes the working of aviation in the world. And South Africa is there to actually influence such standards and such decisions. And therefore, our continued to serve there puts us on the map of the world when it comes to aviation.
So when it comes to aviation security, I mean, in that particular aspect of things, how has South Africa fared? I mean, we have seen some instances, particularly of recently, of one prophet flying out of the country without being detected. And we still don't have answers up until this point as to how that really happened. Surely something like that, when it happens, it doesn't give us a very good view in the world in terms of our level of protection that we derive from the implementation of our aviation security.
First, South Africa gets audited by ICAO for security. We have just been audited by ICAO for security. In the aviation sector, whenever there is anything that happens, it gets investigated. And the outcome of that will tell us as to whether there are any gaps that we probably need to close or there are lapses here and there, if that was to be the case. But let me indicate that as South Africa in 2011, we surpassed the expectation of ICAO when it comes to aviation security, because ICAO has actually set the target that by 2023, member states of ICAO, when they are audited, at least they must perform above 8. We got 83% in 2011. And for this very same year, audit on security, aviation security in South Africa, we are expecting to get not anything less than 90. And of course, that is the target for ICAO that it's set for 2034. And therefore, we're working towards achieving the target of 2024. There will be issues here and there, like I've said, that get investigated. And if there are any lapses here and there, those then get closed by the member states. Yeah. That actually happened. Remember, there's separation, there's a difference between the security aviation and the safety of aviation. And we've been audited on both of these. Just recently, also ICAO audited us. In fact, we'll be audited next year for safety on aviation. We were audited by America for safety. Yeah. And I want to believe when they left, as a matter of fact, they too were saying we need to have an understanding whereby our people will meet with them to share our experiences and to share our expertise because of what they discovered as South Africa, which we are doing, which many of the countries are not doing. For instance, it is the first of its kind that the permits that are issued by SACA are digitized. And countries of the world, including in Africa, Nigeria, for instance, has indicated that they will actually be coming to land from South Africa. And therefore, on a number of fronts, we are leading as a country when it comes to aviation in South Africa. Surely there will be issues here and there, like any other country. It doesn't matter where you are. But we are operating above the expectation. In fact, the average performance of the world is a 65 when it comes to aviation safety. We are at 87.3% in South Africa against, like I'm indicating again, yes, 65% average of performance by member states, in fact, by the world.
No, certainly we have seen the grounding of a number of airlines in the country, especially in recent time, because they do not meet the safety standards that are required to be on in the air. And so certainly we can concede to some of those stringent standards that have been kept up as far as that is concerned. There is also a sense that there would be tremendous benefit economically. Just expand on that and how so?
If any tourist, I'm just making an example, knows that when I fly this airline, I will arrive at my destination safe, then they will fly the airline. If anyone knows that the standards that are maintained by country X ensure and guarantee me of my safe arrival at a particular area, then those people will want to use and actually fly to that country, for instance. Now, when you look at the reconstruction and recovery plan, which was announced by the president, one of the issues that are in that plan is that of increasing and ensuring the growth of tourism. Now, people can never come to South Africa without aviation. So aviation depends, in fact, tourism depends on aviation and aviation depends on tourism. So definitely when we have and we set high standards when it comes to aviation for South Africa and we maintain those standards as set by ICAO, that is your recommended standards and practices as set by ICAO, and everybody in the world knows that South Africa is doing that, they will not hesitate to come to South Africa as tourists, as business people, as anything else. So I think that that contributes into the economy of the country. But aviation itself, it is contributing into the economic growth of South Africa. Remember, that is why we are also worried about the traffic of aircrafts that are coming to South Africa. And we actually have sat together with our state-owned companies in the aviation to say, how do we ensure that we bring that traffic back as it was, or even to surpass the pre-COVID level, so that they come to South Africa. When they land in South Africa, there are tariffs that they pay. When they fly in our airspace, there are tariffs that they pay. And that therefore generates some revenue for South Africa, thus contributing into the economy of South Africa. And remember, when we talk about these issues, the exchange rate is normally in US dollars. And that is why we'll definitely want to see many of the aircrafts and airlines flying to South Africa. And that they will do if they are assured of the safety of our airspace, are assured of the space of our airport, of our airports, and they are also assured that we do implement the regulations as expected and set by ICAO, and that we are doing effectively and efficiently as South Africa.
Now, Deputy Minister, do you want the position for the sake of wanting the position, or is there something particularly significant that you would like to bring in terms of key measures that could improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of an organization like ICAO? I know you're saying part of what this organization does, it sets policy and establishes the budgets that will guide the organization in addressing civil aviation issues. Is there a particular significant proposal this time around that you want to be pushing while you're in that council?
We're dreaming big. I wouldn't want to make any pronouncement at this stage, because I think if there will be anything that we'll want to do, it will have to go to Cabinet and be approved by Cabinet. But we are dreaming very big, because I think we have the capacity and capability as South Africa to hold any strategic position in the ICAO Council. But of course, if we are to do that, we've got to go to Cabinet. And that is why we bring the best minds to represent South Africa in the Council of ICAO from South Africa. So we don't bring people here to learn, but we bring people to ICAO in order for them to contribute and make a difference and to lead in strategic committees of ICAO, technical committees of ICAO. But we're dreaming even beyond the stage of chairing your AFSEC, your whatever other committees that are in the ICAO Council. So yes, we have big dreams, but of course I think maybe it's premature for me to make such announcements, because of course going back we'll have to talk that with the minister and probably go to Cabinet. Maybe it's safe to say that people that serve in strategic positions, such as your Secretary General of ICAO, their term of office is ending come next triennial assembly, and why not? We should be dreaming big as South Africa.
Deputy Minister, much appreciated, and thank you very much for coming on. That is the Deputy Minister of Transport, Sindi Chikunga. There, she is leading.